So, Alex, how'd you get so fly?
I think it's just genetic, you know. Like I'll be that pretty motherfucker.
Yeah. Okay, great. Guys, welcome to episode number 2 of the podcast. I'm here with a friend who was first a client, but I think at this point, like, we're homies.
Nah, just client.
Cut. Anyways, Alex, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
I'm Alex Sedlak. I'm a social media influencer, entrepreneur, adventurer, connoisseur. Maybe. I don't know.
Public intellectual.
There we go.
Like it.
I just I feel like I fit into my own niche. You know, there's not too many like me.
For sure. So I was thinking about who to bring for episode 2. And the whole idea behind this show is to show you guys that it's never been easier. And the reason I wanted to bring Alex today to you guys is, dude, you have such a powerful story. I mean, you're living a life that sometimes it takes people a lifetime to build. And you're 20 years old. Which is funny because before this we were doing a group call with one of your programs, and it's something that resonated with me. How a lot of times when you feel like things are a little overwhelming, you just kind of have to remind yourself, dude, like, I'm just 20 years old.
Yeah, literally.
You know?
Yeah, literally. Because it's just, we're all so young, bro. I mean, like, with all the technology, medicine, and, like, information we're learning about how to, like, treat your body, like, I would not be surprised if you and I lived to like 120, like
easy,
like 120, like still have 100 fucking years, dog. Like, you can't even you can't even imagine like what can go on in those 100 years.
Yeah, as long as we don't keep eating those Beyond Burgers.
Yeah, it's an occasional type thing.
Yeah. So I think you and I connected around October of 2020, and we connected through the previous guest, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So he reached out to you. I know you guys had a conversation. You guys actually did one of these. A podcast, and you guys connected really well. And I had already kind of helped Jeremy do some things with his business, and he was like, Alex, you need to connect with this guy.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember he connected us, and I remember I think we only had one Zoom call before we started working together, right?
Yeah. I had like $3,000 in my name, maybe.
Yeah. So what did life look like?
Shit, at that time.
Because here's the thing, at that point you were just getting ready to hit 1 million on TikTok.
Yeah. I was just about. Yeah.
So I know prior to you going full-time as a content creator, you were working at the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like, I quit in like March 2020.
Yeah, and you started working at the hospital because you dropped out of college.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was that? Take us to why you even dropped out of college in the first place.
So, dude, it was affecting my mental health. Like, I don't think there's anything more important than yourself, you know? So I just kept getting signs that like I shouldn't be there. Like, my roommate, my whole floor was dope as fuck, but my roommate was the total polar opposite of me. He's the only person on the floor that no one talked to, and it was my fucking roommate. So, and he was gay, so I was really uncomfortable. Not that I'm a homophobe, but like,
yeah.
It's like, you know, it's my fucking
right,
and it's like it's not even as big as this, like, from here to there. So I'm like, damn.
I know there's college dorms.
Yeah. So I'm in there. I'm just like, damn, this is not it. And then I have like maybe 4 or 5 friends over, and I leave my Twisted Teas on like next to the trash can, and he comes home before I come home, and he tells the campus, like, police on me basically. So I get a phone call, and it's campus police. They're like, yo, like, you can't have alcohol on campus.
So he snitched on you.
He snitched on me, yeah.
Okay.
And like, my RA knew I was drinking because my RA was dope. Like, he like, I left my TV on all night, loud as fuck, and he like, apparently I locked my door too. I don't know what happened, but like, he told me, he's like, dude, I tried not to get you in trouble, but like, when your roommate tells on you, like, you have to, like, we have to do something. I'm like,
for sure.
So they were like, you can either, like, if you don't go to these classes, like, some shit, or like these alcohol classes. I'm like, I'm not a fucking alcoholic. I'm not going to these classes. Like, so I was like, if I drop out right now, what happens? They're like, well, then you have no record that you even came to the school. So I was like, all right. And my grades were shitty anyway, so like, cool. Let's act like this didn't happen.
Was this first semester, second semester?
This was like 3 weeks into school.
Okay, wow.
Literally, yeah. So I'm glad it happened early because like I couldn't do homework, bro. The only thing I liked about college was like writing because like the papers were like my friends would do my math homework and I would like write their papers because like I love writing. But like that's the only thing I liked about it was writing and meeting people. I met everybody.
It's interesting that you see that all the time where people are exchanging work and getting and paying to get their work done. So you're in college, 3 weeks in, your roommate snitches on you. Then you're like, I'm not taking these classes. That leads you then to.
So I remember it so vividly, bro. I'm sitting at my desk. I just got off the phone with my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm just gonna fucking do it. Like she knew that I told her before going to college. I'm like, I'm probably not gonna be like, I'm not gonna graduate. Like, I'll be blunt. Like, I'm not gonna graduate. She's like, I just wanted you to get some college experience. So I was like, all right, I'll go. Didn't think I'd drop out that soon. But then like, right before I dropped out, I also had this crazy opportunity to sign petitions. So like, I got paid to like every signature I'd get on a piece of paper, I'd get like $6.
Was this for college? Like
no,
job
like
in college,
so like these people came to our campus and they were like just getting petitions for random shit. Like petitioners is a job. I didn't even know this was a job. So like I was just helping them out. Like I was like just kind of fucking around. I was like, hey, come sign this, you know, just being like a fucking weirdo, whatever. And they were like, yo, we'll actually give you $2 for every signature you get. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. Like, are you serious? So I just had a field day. Like I made like $1,000 that day. And I'm like, damn. So then the next day they were like, yo, we're going down to Columbus to go to OSU if you want to come do it there. But I had to skip class to do it. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. So I went, met a dude down there that would pay me $6 for a signature instead of $2. And I was at OSU. So I'm like, dog, this is like too good to be true. So then I had to stay with the stranger I just met though in Cincinnati because that's where they cashed in their checks.
Right.
So we stayed the night in Cincinnati with the stranger, and then he gave me like $2,400 cash, and then I go back to fucking campus feeling like a big man, getting signatures at the tail. Everyone's getting fucked up at the tailgate. I'm like, hey, sign this. And then
dude, $1,000 in a
wild.
day.
Yeah, it was wild. I got a check for like $4,800, and like that was the biggest check I ever got. I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm dropping out after that.
Okay, so this was kind of like the way you're painting it. This was like your first
business excursion
and kind of like realization that wow, the colleges are selling this kind of like almost when you leave college it's what like a $40,000-$50,000 a year
investment.
Yeah, like dream, right? Yeah. Like going into an entry level position, and you just made $1,000 in a day, and you get to experience like, oh wow, like
yeah, I went to the bar.
It's not the only way to make money.
Yeah, I went to the bar that night with like a couple $100 bills, and the girls there were like tweaking that I had $100 bills. They're like, why you have $100 bills? I'm like, yeah.
Bala.
It was weird though, yeah. But I was like sober that night because I just wanted to like reflect and be like, damn, like drop out of school tomorrow.
Okay.
So I dropped out of school the next day.
So when did you have that realization of like, okay, like I'm doing this, like I'm gonna drop out of college?
So I skipped like 5 days of classes to do all that petition shit. So the homework was just fucking me.
No.
So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna do this homework. I'm not gonna do these classes. And I'm out this hell. Mm-hmm. So I dropped out like that Monday.
How was that?
Everyone on my floor was sad, which made me sad because like we had a cool friendship. Like, it was all my friends were like, nah, dude, like, come on, you gotta graduate. I'm like, nah, miss me with that shit, bro. So.
Did you have a plan?
No. My mom's in real estate, so I started shadowing her. Okay. And then she's like, yo, my friend just said you can get a job at the hospital. So I was like, oh, dope.
How did your parents take it that 3 weeks into college?
It's probably like a month and a half, maybe. But I told my mom, I'm like, I was like crying. I would like cry in class, bro. Like, because my professor for math, which is my worst subject, was insanely Chinese. So I could not even understand her English, let alone what she's trying to fucking say. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, nah, dog. Like, I just wanted to like make my mom proud by like, because both my siblings are smart, school smart as fuck, and I just can't even do like algebra 1 in college. So I'm just like, damn, this sucks. So I just, yeah. I was like, this is just not worth it. But she was like, she knew it was gonna happen, and she knew I was meant for more than college. So she believed in me. My dad, not always.
Gotcha. It's cool that she was pretty understanding.
Very, bro.
Especially like consider the fact that was 3 weeks in.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Okay, so you leave college, and then what? What happens? Like, what do you start doing?
I just start grinding, like expanding my brain wise. Like I start trying drop shipping. I'm talking to everyone I know that does drop shipping. I start posting on social media, like just selfies and shit, because I knew that would like used to work.
Used to work for what?
Growing followers.
Why did you want it to?
Because I just knew that. I knew that if you had a base, you had leverage. So like, if I was focused on building the foundation, and then like at some point I knew I would have something to provide and sell to them. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that if I have people behind me that believe in me, I'll be able to do something with those people.
Got it. Got it. So, right off the bat, you get busy.
Yeah, and my mom was hounding me. She's like, I'm not gonna let you drop out of college and stay here. So I'm like, all right, bet. Like, I'm gonna start like learning. I'm gonna start doing whatever I can. So like, I remember I'd be up to like 2 a.m. watching Grant Cardone and shit, and like watching Gary Vee, just like trying to, because I knew like everyone in my hometown school was definitely clowning me. Like, this dude dropped out of school. What the fuck's he gonna do?
Was there a moment when you had this realization, like, I'm a college dropout.
Yeah.
I need to make things happen. Because I know for me, like, that came the next day after I got out of college.
Yeah. Basically, the next day, I'm like, I cannot waste any of my potential, because I know there's so much on the table.
Yeah.
I have to like actually fucking grind. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure some shit out.
Okay. So you start creating content on social media. You start drop shipping. What comes next?
Fuck, dog. I just.
When did you start working at the hospital?
Fucking like November of 2019. Started working 40-hour weeks.
What led you to working at the hospital?
So my mom put out on Facebook, that her friend put out on Facebook. She was like, we have a new transporter job. If anyone is looking for a job, let us know. So my mom, like, she went to high school with her, so she hit her up. She's like, my son Alex just dropped out of college. Really nice kid, can talk to anybody, looking for a job. So I pull up in my suit, you know, I'm dripping, and then I walk in there, and one of the dudes in there goes, "You about to buy the hospital?" I go, maybe one of these days, fuck. But I just walked in there like, you know, like big dick energy type shit, where I was like, I'm gonna get this job, basically.
Okay.
Even though like this is a job that like my colleagues were like 28, 40, like the people that had the same jobs as me, and I just walk in here, 19-year-old that fucking just dropped out of college and somehow got the job.
Gotcha. So, you've shared with me what you used to do as a transporter whenever you had an elderly person that seemed like they've gone through something. So
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I don't know. I would, depending on how the vibe was, I'd usually just ask them, like, I was like, it's one of the best things you could tell a 19-year-old. Like, what's the best lesson you've learned in life? Like, and every single one of them would have something really interesting for me to just gather and be like, nice. And then I remember I met this one landlord who had like 120-something units of like apartments and shit. And I was like, I remember like I left my assignment for work to go up to his room because him and I were having like a fire ass convo when I dropped him off. And I'm like, dude, let me get your phone number. Like, I need to talk to you about this shit. So like, as soon as he gets out the hospital, his name's Rick, fucking baller. We get on a phone call. He tells me everything I need to know about being a landlord, because like, that was my plan at the time. Was like going into real estate, fucking having rental properties, because that was like guaranteed success. But I knew it was gonna take a while. But that was my plan. So, and then I met another dude. I met a bunch of dudes where I actually ended up having phone calls with them, and just like trying to pick their brain.
So you were kind of in a way seeking mentorship. Already.
Yeah, always.
And, like understanding that like, okay, like maybe these people know a thing or two about a thing or two that at this point in my life I don't know, and that might be able to help me. I'm curious, what was the most interesting answer that you got whenever because what was the question you would ask them?
I would just say, what's one thing you'd tell a 19-year-old? And like, a lot of them would have nothing to say about money, like, which is a crazy thing, because they're all super old. They have a lot of experience, which I find interesting, because like when you're dying, like money doesn't matter. So they were saying like, love with all you have, be forgiving, but like don't forget. Things like be careful what you say because once you say it, you can't unsay it.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I was like, damn. Those are the main things that like stuck out to me.
Okay. So while you are at the hospital, there's this one person that I know that you clicked with, who also worked at the hospital.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Sean.
Sean.
My boy Sean.
And while you were working at the hospital, I know you were also creating content and you used to tell Sean something.
Yeah.
What did you used to tell him?
I always told him, I was like, I would show him like pictures of the cars I was gonna drive and shit. I'd be like, bro, I'm gonna drive this shit, like, and I would tell him like how much money I was making, like that day, like aside of work, and he'd be like, damn, like he always believed in me, which was really dope because all the other like nurses, like 30-year-old nurses, would clown me for being like showing them Maseratis, being like, yeah, this is the car I'm gonna get, and then
They didn't see the vision.
they didn't see the vision. But Sean, he texted me after I got my Beamer and I sent him a picture, and he was like, damn, I knew that boy would do it. I'm like, I appreciate you always believing in me, bro. And he goes, oh, I could tell you were serious.
It's so important to find those people in your journey that will support your vision, will put positive energy behind that, and to not listen or pay attention to the people that don't.
Prime example of it, bro. Literally a prime example of it. Perfect example.
So, how long were you at that job for?
5 months, 6 months, maybe.
Okay, so when do you leave your job as a transporter?
So, I actually got appendicitis. Dude, I would get sick all the time working in the hospital. I don't know what it was, but I would get sick a lot. And then I got appendicitis, so that took me out for like 5 days. I literally couldn't walk. And then like spring break came up, and I'm not about to miss spring break. So, I have like 300, 400K on TikTok at this point. And they end up firing me because they just don't think I'm a right fit, even though like I was an asset to them. Like I literally had like some people I transport would tell me that. They'd be like, you're an asset to this hospital. I was like, I appreciate that. But so it was like March when I left. And then I was like, I took it as a sign. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be all in.
You rolled with the punches. Man, so many people would have taken that situation as like, oh man, like I got fired.
Yeah, like fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, like it's my time to shine, basically.
Beautiful. Perspective is powerful. Okay, so, dude, at this point when you get fired from the hospital, you're at 300 to 400K on TikTok, which means throughout this whole journey, you've also been nurturing this idea, because I think like deep down in your heart you knew that wasn't it.
Yeah.
You know, and you've been putting work behind this side hustle, and I know hours, because dude, to build an audience of 400,000 people, that's not easy.
It takes time, yeah.
So, what did building that audience of 300,000 to 400,000 people look like while you were also working full time at a hospital?
So my hours at the job were 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So like, I would post a video before I went to work, or on my way to work, or in the parking garage when I got to work. Sometimes even at work, like I would just go to the bathroom and say a crazy thought that I had.
That's probably why they fired. It's like this
They
kid's always making TikToks.
They were like, you need to delete this video because your hospital tag's in it. I'm like, fuck, my bad.
Yeah.
So, and then I'd go home from work. I'd listen to motivational videos on TikTok after work on my way home. And then I would post a video when I got home. I'd go live when I got home for like 3 hours while I was making my merch and being like, hey, I'm making my merch right now, spreads positivity, all this shit. Like, because merch was like my biggest source of income.
Okay. Dude, it's fascinating that throughout this whole process, like you're still putting in the work to make this happen, and like no matter what, right? Because like dude, like to put out 4 or 5 TikToks a day, like that's hustle.
Yeah.
That's hustle. Okay, so you get fired, and you find yourself in the situation where I think the drop shipping, the merch, is starting to make you some money.
Yeah, probably like $1,000 a month tops, maybe a little more than that, maybe like 2,000 and a half revenue. So I literally never even calculated what my profit was. I was just like, oh shit, cool. I don't have to worry. Like my rent was only 400 something bucks, so I was like, it's enough to get me by, like where I don't have to slave at a hospital.
So you're seeing some money coming in. Okay. Now, at this point, I think it's probably, what, like June, July, where you're, like, really, like, going full-time into TikTok.
Full time. Yeah, definitely. I was getting like 100K a month during the summer, and I wouldn't.
100K followers?
Yeah, like I literally.
This is in the middle of the pandemic where, like, people were not doing anything but on social media, right? So that, I think, like, the timing also probably helped you.
Capitalized on that shit for sure. But yeah, dude, it was crazy. It was just so nice. I got to spend my whole summer. I didn't have to work for anybody else for 1 second.
Did you had a vision that you were moving towards?
My vision was growth at the time. Like I had nothing specific other than growth.
Personal growth, social media growth.
Everything. I was trying to grow in every aspect.
All of it.
All of it.
Okay. So, what's the next, like, important point in this journey?
Dude. And honestly, bro, I was doing the same shit until about October when I met you. Like literally, like I was just posting videos, selling merch, mentoring people for like $30, and then I met you, and then just tables completely fucking turned entirely.
So, it's interesting. I think if I would have met you at a different point in your journey, things wouldn't have flowed the way they did.
I agree. Because we had so much like built up momentum almost.
Yeah.
Like so much that we could just. Yeah.
And as you share this story with me, I can't help but just see this divine timing always playing out. Like
it's
like
crazy. It's crazy.
You getting fired from your job as the TikTok thing's starting to like take off, and also like your positive outlook throughout this whole thing, right? Like leaving college and saying, "Hey, I'm meant for more," you know. And okay, so October comes around. At this point, I think when I met you were like 900,000 on TikTok, which is so significant. Mm-hmm. And I know you were starting to do something with this audience, and I know when we talked and I saw what you were doing with this audience, I'm like, oh my god, Alex, like I think I literally told you like you're sitting on a pile of gold.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. Like I remember like I was like, damn, this dude's fucking
gassing me out. Right.
I was like, this dude's just gassing me right now, like. But yeah, you were not wrong at all. Not wrong.
So, the next step is an interesting one, and is one that I've found myself in many times in order to continue to level up my own journey, and it's that of investing in mentorship and somebody that's walked the path. Was this your first experience investing into like actual mentorship?
Yeah, first time. It was my last fucking like literally like the last of my money too.
Yeah. Okay, and it was interesting because like I just knew that I knew what you were capable of, and I'm so happy that you decided to trust me and to trust yourself really at the end of the day with the last amount of money that you had in your bank account. So, like, dude, like you cleared your bank account to zero.
Literally, yeah, like $400. I was tweaking about it. I'm like, holy shit, bro.
To invest in coaching, and this was about early October. I remember. When things really took off for me was when I invested, it's about $12,000 into this mastermind. I think I've told you about it.
Unreal.
And at the point, dude, I just put it in a credit card. I did not have $12,000 cash in the bank. But that experience for me was so transformational that like things really started to flow after that. And I think for me, like when you trust the universe and you approach life with courage, it rewards you. So share a little bit about your experience about what happens when you decide to like, okay, like I think like this is the right direction. I'm just gonna trust the universe. I'm gonna trust this dude that I just met on this call, and see what happens.
Bro, I don't even. It was easily the biggest like I've jumped off cliffs, I've jumped off bridges and shit, but like spending my last dollars was like one of the scariest things I've ever done because I'm living in my mom's basement, like. If shit doesn't work, like I have to make it work. I have to make it all back myself. Like, and it was just being able to be vulnerable. You know, that was the biggest part because you'll never really achieve much if you can't be vulnerable and like take steps out of your comfort zone. So that's what I had to realize and embrace and trust that like, all right, like here it goes. Like It was basically just like a very big step off the high dive practically, and I was just like full blown in it.
Yeah. No, you were definitely motivated. So, one of the things I noticed is that usually, like with my coaching program, there's a journey, right? And that journey takes a short amount of time, and you flew through this journey. Like you did what sometimes takes people 4 weeks to do, and compress it into a week. And I think that's why, like you were ready for it, and it's why I think like a month later, after kind of not bringing in that much money, I mean, are you comfortable kind of talking about money? Like,
Always.
Was it then November that you launched your new coaching offer?
Yeah, we like strategically did it like November 1st, and we started with $1,000 for my coaching, and I was like, holy shit, bro, like there's no way someone's gonna pay $1,000 for this shit. And then that month I made like 25 grand. It was fucking unreal. I'm sitting, like there were days where like, I would make $3 grand, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, dog, I just made $3,000 today. Like what the fuck? Like it was the most unreal feeling ever, because like I'm sitting there with my brother. We're watching a movie, and my brother's been in medical school for like 6 years, and like I don't think he'll ever see a day where he makes $3,000 in a day. And I'm just like this 20-year-old. Just I can't say this to him, but I'm just sitting there like, bro.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was literally fucking nuts.
And this is why I'm so passionate about this idea, and why I want to bring these conversations to people, because to someone that's never seen that done, or perhaps maybe they think that like, oh, you have to like be a certain kind of person, or have a huge business. No, you really don't. Not
you really
today.
Don't. You really don't. Like I'm just Alex, bro.
No.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, like I'm Alex.
So around this point, as we're going through our coaching, I'm feeling that like you're quickly outgrowing your environment.
Very quick. It was way too quick, bro. Like 25 grand a month, bro. Like that's like more than. And it changes your perspective of like a lot, like a lot. Like it changes how you view your environment. You're just like, holy shit! If I can do this the first month I start working, like I gotta get out of here, bro. So then, December 4th, I get the new car. Wait, no, I come down to visit you November. I even took 4 days off and still made 25, because I came down here to visit you and be like, all right, this is what Miami's like. So then I get the car December 4th, which is
Talk a little bit about that experience.
Coming down here?
No. Well, we can touch on that, but like getting the car.
Yeah.
Because I know when I met you, I think one of the things that I think this happened when I had just met you.
My car broke.
Your car broke.
Straight up.
And it was an old Beamer,
yeah,
right?
An old Beamer. Yeah, the transmission blew right when I was about to come down here. I'm like,
you were pretty upset about it.
I love that thing.
I think this was before we launched the offer.
Yeah. So then I was carless for like the whole month of November. So I'm driving my mom's car everywhere, and I was so pissed about it. I'm like, fuck, I missed my car. And then came down here, started balling. I didn't even like think about getting a car until like the day before I got the car. I was like, damn, I could probably get a car now. So I just go to the BMW dealership. I walk in there. Okay, I just look like a kid walking in there. They're like, what the fuck is this kid doing here?
No, this is cute.
Yeah, they're like, I want a lease. They're like, oh, you...
He's real.
Yeah, deadass. And this dude starts showing me the cars and shit, like thinking that like I probably wasn't gonna buy one. And then he goes, I don't know if you're comfortable with me asking this. He goes, what do you do? And I explain the whole situation. He goes, oh, shit. Like takes me a lot more seriously after I explain it to him. So then I'm like, shows me all the cars. I'm like, all right, like I probably found like the one I want. He's like, all right. I was like, all right, I'll probably see you tomorrow. And I don't think he took me seriously. I just pull up the next day with my mom. I call him like 20 minutes before we go there, so he gets 2 cars ready for me. Still unreal to this day. Like I'm whipping my mom. Like we're on a test drive in this fucking brand new car, and like my mom told me on the whole way there, she's like, you are not getting a car today. You are not. Like, even though it's all my money, I'm like, definitely getting a car today. Like I was so set on it. And then like I'm test driving her in it. I just smiled to knock it off my face the whole time. I'm like, this is fucking unreal, bro. Like this is great. And then I pull up. I got the car. So
what car did you end up getting?
that was a 2021 430i BMW. Yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah, sexy as fuck. And so then right after I get the car, I pull up to Ty's house. And I literally told Ty the day before, I'm like, Ty, I'm probably going to get a brand new car tomorrow. He goes, no, you're not, bro. I'm like, I'm going to pull up tomorrow, new car. Like, swear to God. And my old car would have oil leaks. Like, there were oil leaks that are going to be on his street forever from my old car. And I always felt bad. I'm like, dude, I feel so bad. Like, my car is just leaking on your shit. And literally a year ago today, I was driving a truck. I was driving like a 1999 GMC truck that was literally falling apart.
A year
ago today. Yeah.
That's one of the other things that I've noticed that's happening in our modern world, and it's the fact that things are happening a lot quicker.
So much quicker.
And timelines are almost getting compressed. I mean, I look at my own experience, I look at your experience, I look at some of the experiences of the people that I'm working with, and I feel like a lot of people haven't experienced that. Mm-hmm. Perhaps a little bit an energetic level, but it's like things are happening so much quicker. Dude, the fact that you made this happen went from driving a truck, right, having $400 in your bank account to buying a brand new 2021 BMW and making $25,000 in a matter of a month speaks to that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you come down to Miami and you're like you're kind of feeling that pull to grow a little bit more, because I know you were kind of feeling a little stagnant in your own environment. What was that like, in making that decision to move to a bigger city that would provide you with the opportunities that you were looking for?
Bro, I honestly really didn't. I didn't put a crazy amount of thought in it. I was like, that feels right. I know it is right. Like, I have this opportunity. I need to take this opportunity. Like, it didn't really hit me until like New Year's, because my New Year's was like a kind of a going away party for me. So like the whole city of Perrysburg pulled up at Ty's house, and like I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I was hugging everybody. Like, it was emotional. And then like I just bounced. Like, it was literally like it was crazy, but I knew it had to be done. I know that the real ones aren't going anywhere, so like I knew it had to be done, so I did it.
Okay, so now let's fast forward to you being in Miami, making that move. What does your life look like now, a year later?
So next year?
No, like, what does your life look like now?
Oh my God, dog. It's kind of unreal what my life looks like now. I wake up in the morning to fucking skyline views from my fucking room, which is crazy. I have a fast car in a big city, a fast city, surrounded by beautiful people, beautiful friends, bro. Like, all my friends are like, I've met so many great people down here. It's crazy. I'm in the sun every fucking day. I can swim whenever I want. I am entirely free. It is unreal, dog. Like, it is literally like a life I couldn't even dream of a year ago. Like, it is that insane. If you told me like a year ago, when I was like, I basically just quit the hospital job like a year ago, and if you told me that this is what my life would look like, I would say, stop capping, bro. Like, come on. Like, it's overwhelming at times, because I'm like, I just did all that, and I'm like, I'm gonna do more than that. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's hard. Like, it's crazy, bro. I feel like I'm living like a movie. Like, I feel like I literally could make a life or a movie out of my life, and it's unreal that I could say that and like genuinely mean it.
And you're 20 years old.
And I'm 20 years old.
And you're just getting started.
I'm just getting started. It's never been easier.
It's never been easier. It's never been easier. So, now that we've shared this journey with the people that are listening and watching, what do you attribute the success that you've had when you look back on your experience for the past year and a half of just grinding? If someone looks at you and they say, man, like now they see you, they're like, oh my God, well, Alex is verified. He's an audience of 1.3 million people. They might not be able to relate to kind of like where you're at right now, but what'd you say to that person?
Dude, I would attribute it to not doubting myself even for a second. Like when life like threw curveballs at me, I looked at them as opportunities. I'm like, I like the divine timing thing. Like I seriously firmly believe that everything happens for you. Everything happens for your growth, and like in life you have a choice. Every single thing you think is a choice. So whatever, reality isn't what we see, is what we think, and you can see beauty or you can see ugliness in every single thing that you see. And every single thing that happened to me, I chose to see beauty and I chose to see growth. I chose to see opportunities. And given the circumstances that I was in, I know that not everyone would have made all the decisions that I made, because I always had this mindset where I was like, I'm young, fuck it. I'm gonna risk everything I have, because why not? You know, like why not? So
it's one life.
Literally one life. So I'm like, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I'm gonna believe in myself until I'll never not believe in myself. You know what I mean? Like even if I'm fucking like at rock bottom, I know I'll adapt.
Is this something that you developed on your own, or was something that...
I think it's kind of always been there. Like I was talking to my barber about it the other day. We were talking about bricks, and I was like, he's like, I don't think I've ever been a brick, and that made me think. I was like, bro, like, even when I was a kid, like I was preaching to my dad when I was like 7 years old, and I think it's just kind of, I've always had this mindset where I was like, life is not meant to be boring. Life is meant to be fun. It's meant to be keeping you on the edge of your seat type shit. Like that is what life is for. Like creating memories that like when I'm old, I can tell my grandkids and be like, I did all this shit. Like I want to have so many stories that I won't have time to say all of them. So that's kind of what influences all of my decisions. So like when I decided to pursue this, I was like, what would my future self think of me? Like, would he be pissed if I didn't take this opportunity? Or not maximize my potential? Because there's just so fucking much of it. Everyone has limitless potential, and it's up to you for what you do with it. If you live in a constant fear of other people's opinions, then you'll never be able to fully utilize your potential.
It's powerful.
Bars.
Bars. when I look at you, I see a person that did not settle for what society told them was the way. Mm-hmm. I see a person with a tremendous amount of confidence and courage, which I know you've developed that through doing what you shared on this podcast and this conversation of jumping and trusting, you know. And I'm so happy that we're having this conversation, because again, these are like bringing other people into these types of conversations kind of opens up this paradigm of what's really possible.
Mm-hmm. Anything is possible.
Anything's possible. So I think this is a good way, or a good point to wrap up this podcast.
I agree.
Is there anything else that you want to share with? Where can people find you?
Alex Sedlak. On anything. It's the name, but it's never been easier, and that's a perfect name for the podcast. Cause like, dog, like you can blow up in a fuck. I just saw some kid start posting videos like 3 weeks ago. Dude has 2 million followers.
It's never been easier.
Literally never been easier. Never
guys,
doubt yourself either.
Yeah,
it's the biggest one.
Go check out Alex and follow him on social media. See what he's up to, and guys, if he could do it, if I could do it, it's like you can do it too.
Bars.
All right, that's it for this one.
All right, peace out, everybody. Good work.
Good work.